Well, we got the Clemson game in the books. Week 1, raging success. Oh, at least that's how the general narrative went. Georgia beat Clemson, ho, home. But when I was watching that game, it just occurred to me just how far Clemson has fallen. It was shocking. Well, we played them a few years ago, and they were pretty much on our level coming in. And Clemson's been riding that little sort of relevant bubble ever since. And it just made me think. I started looking at where Clemson was and where they are now. Even though, to hear Dabo Sweeney tell you, they haven't fallen. Gotta have to beat Alabama. Gotta beat Texas. And you gotta keep staying a head and shoulders above the pack. The Georgia Tech, South Carolinas. Those kind of guys. We don't even know we're gonna beat them because we don't play the whole game. We'll get to that later. But it did remind me, watching Dabo, all the things I've been talking about, all the things I've been warning about with Kirby Smart since they failed to win a title 3 times in a row. Yes, I'm complaining. And I should, and you should too, because that's why Clemson is where they were Saturday. Because they stopped complaining. Because Dabo didn't like it. He didn't want to hear complaints. It led to complacency and attrition. So where did Dabo go wrong? Let's talk about him for a little bit. While they're still relevant, Florida State's already lost 2 games. It'll be soon. Clemson won't even be worth talking about, so we better talk fast. Wow, they're still relevant. They can still win the ACC. They can still win a playoff. They can. But everybody knows that's not even a concern for Clemson. Where did Dabo go wrong? Well, let's start with when Dabo had it right. He won a national title with Trevor Lawrence. Won a national title with Trevor Lawrence. So what was right then? Well, you had a top quarterback. His offense was balanced. He had a running backs, powerful running backs, big linemen on both sides of the ball. He recruited in the top 5 or close. Dabo had all of that. If memory serves me, he had a great defensive coordinator and a good offensive coordinator. Now both of those are gone. Both of those are gone. People were talking about nepotism. For you folks out in Alabama, that means hiring your family and friends. Something like that. Charges of nepotism with Dabo made the internet rounds. That's usually not good. Recruiting slipped. Now he's 10 of 15, still the top 5. Despite losing Venables as defensive coordinator, the defense is still a strength. But the offense has collapsed. DJU was a big step down, and Klubnic a worse, a bigger dud. New coordinator, so far not so good. Let's just briefly sum up what's changed since the last time Georgia and Clemson played. This time there was no great quarterback. At least the last time they had one who was supposed to be. No one was even claiming Klubnic was great except Dabo Sweeney. So no great quarterback. A new coordinator who has a resume. Nothing proven. They don't have a great offensive line, and who knows how the receivers are. Because Klubnic Klubnic. And so, does dropping 10 notches in recruiting change all that much? Yeah. So, supplement that recruiting drop with the transfer portal. No. So there you have it. Dabo and Clemson aren't as good because the players aren't as good. You could offset notches of recruiting drop by exceptional development. But he's got cousin Leroy teaching him how to play. The second cousin may not be the best one to teach people fine techniques that NFL players will need. So, it's not a matter of what Dabo had and doesn't have. He has what he has, and Clemson has fallen. Has what he has, and Clemson has fallen. So now we see a bit more of why Dabo is not relevant. So could this change? It could. But will it? Where does that leave Clemson? 10 to 15th ranked recruiting class that needs development, and old Clemson players will develop them. Today's sport requires development's a big business. It's a big part of what makes a program great is to really have good teachers. It's not just your position coaches. It's a lot involved in developing athletes at an NFL level, more or less. It's not something that you just do. You have to have a purpose. And developing players has dropped off. Playing calibers dropped off, and some say that Dabo's even lost the hunger to win. So, if all that's true, then it's not a surprise that Georgia beat Clemson 34-3 with one hand tied behind their back. There'll be the rest of the season to analyze what Georgia's problems are. They will show up and be evident enough game by game. But watching teams like Clemson disintegrate is not really fun. And if I were a Clemson fan, I guess you would just be happy that you had a day in the sun.